So tonight's a Subaru night. We're at the dealership here in Perth. We're going to see what they have on the lot. Subarus are having a hard time moving at the moment. Due to COVID, there was a big drop in new car sales, so these dealers have been hurting. And they also haven't been able to get hold of second-hand car stock because the second-hand market has been leaping up in price because new cars didn't get bought, and so they didn't get handed on. So the new car market is a bit devoid of the cars that people want. So wow, look at the price of that. That's obscene. This is a 2020 Subaru WRX. Okay, it's got 9,785 kilometers on it, and they want 52,990. Is it an STI? No, it is not an STI. And they want 60 grand for it. Oh, sorry, 53 grand for it. But that's still crazy numbers. And nice looking car and all, but a Subaru that's pretty stock, symmetrical all-wheel drive. No, that ain't worth 53 grand. So here's a shape I like. Not sure what year this is, we'll find out. This is the S edition of the WRX. Also in white. White is a really good colour. It's actually not white, it's like a pearlescent white. It's a really good colour for Australia because of the sunshine that we get beaten down with. So stand back and have a look at it. So it reminds me of the older wide body. That's what I think it might be. Yeah, wow, it's a 2012. 139,000 kilometers and 33 grand. Wow, this is a second-hand car and the car market's out of control. Like, that is really expensive for a 2012 with 140,000 Ks on it. I'm blown away. That's bit shocked actually. But that's how they currently, that's what they're going for. A 2012, that's an 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old car. 140,000, so it's due for maintenance. It would need the whole front part of the engine and need the timing belt done and all the pulleys. You do the timing belt, you might as well do it all. You might as well do the pulleys, tensioner and water pump, all that guff at the same time, all the bearings. Shocking. No, it just ain't worth it. 33 grand for a 2012 WRX. So they must be getting pretty rare now, or hard to source on the second-hand market. So the Subaru dealer is having to stay alive by trading and selling other vehicles. So they've got a Mercedes here. Let's see what that's going for. 52,000, 2015, 59,000 Ks on it. It's got swirl marks all over the bonnet and everything. It's a nice car though. Turbo AMG. Okay, it's a turbo AMG hatch. A45 4MATIC. So it's not a pretty nice car, but yeah, once again, those are crazy prices. What do we got here? Okay, it's a BRZ. Okay, not a big fan of the BRZ. It's a rear-wheel drive with a boxer engine. 6 years old, and they want 32 grand for it with 49,000 kilometers on it. That's pretty low Ks, but no, just not worth it. Just can't believe what the dealers are asking. They must be getting it if they're asking it, or maybe they let them beat them down a couple of grand. But yeah, that's mad. I love this style. I think I don't love the front end as much. The colour is really nice. The light setup, I like the lights. I do like some of the fender setup, but it's a bit of an Evo front end on it. The rest of the car looks Subaru, like the modern Subarus. The back end is quite nice on this one. Once again, it's a standard WRX. There's no price on that one yet. We have a bunch of older cars lining up here that are, some have sold, some are due to be checked out, I guess. This is a weird one. This has been dropped off from somewhere. It's they're calling it a Levorg, but yeah, it is actually a Levorg. Okay. Don't know where that one came from. VW. There's a VW dealer on the other side. So this is an older STI, 2012 or something. But yeah, no price on it yet. It's kind of the wide body version of it. Usually call this the wide body version. It's kind of ugly, to be honest. Like, the front end is not the greatest. It's got smooth lines and it doesn't stand out, like, because of the way that the scoop is integrated into the bonnet. It doesn't stand out on the road. It's not such a cop magnet like the older WRXs are very pronounced and very obvious that they have a turbo. It's got a nice wing on the back. I do like the back end of the car, and the what I didn't like was the interior. Like, the seats are really good, drove beautifully, but yeah, they just tried to make it very European, and it ended up with these really fat ass mirrors on it and stuff. It just wasn't very rally WRX. Most of those cars all had EJ255s in them, except for that STI over there. They'll have an EJ257 more than likely. And yeah, like the rest of the slot, this is shocking. This was full of cars, and now it's like nothing out here. Wow. And they've got a bunch of trade-ins by the looks of it. We got a Commodore Calais here. We got an older Forester. So the Foresters have been very popular in Australia. They're really nice cars, and you get turbo versions of them. It's XT or something. Yeah, so they're around. And yeah, they pretty much drive close to a WRX. They're pretty fast. The turbo versions. These are naturally aspirated versions. See if any prices on them yet. It's a Mitsubishi thing here. I don't know what that is. Don't know much about Mitsubishis. Nor do I care. 2012 Mitsubishi, they want 12 grand for it, so that's a bit more reasonable. 8-year-old car. Shitload of kilometres, 182,000 kilometres. And it's a Mitsubishi ASX, which I know nothing about. Oh, okay, it does have a price on it. This one's sold already. They look similar. No, they're different years. So this is a 2014 Forester, and they want 24 grand for it. Admittedly, at 65,000 kilometres is pretty low, but 24 grand for a almost 7-year-old car. That just blows me away. Blows me away. It's going to sell for close to that. So if we go back a year or two, this car, what would it have gone for? This would be more like 2019. So there's at least 4 or 5 grand on top of that. It's just suddenly been thrown onto it. It's the other Forester. They look very nice in silver. That one's actually got leather seating. This is a Holden Calais, and it's got leather seating. And let's have a look at the price. I can't stand these cars, but well, this is another crazy one. $20,000, 72,000 kilometers, and it's almost 10 years old. So I bought a car that's 2009 that had 87,000 Ks on it, and it was 10 grand flat. I think, yeah, 10 grand I picked it up for. So yeah, I got an absolute bargain compared to what they're charging now. This is just off the planet. There's another Forester. That's a really nice colour. Forester, nice wheels and everything. It's night time, so we can't really see the interior too well. It's automatic, this one. yeah, that's quite a new Forester. I'm not sure what year that is. It looks quite recent. So what do we got here? We got a Jeep, which have some of the worst sales service in Australia. Everyone says don't buy a Jeep. Like the model, like they're going to have problems most of the time. That's a Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, and you pay so much for it, and then something goes wrong. And apparently they treat their customers like garbage here in Australia, so it's just not worth it. Subaru WRX, naturally aspirated Impreza, which I don't think should even be called an Impreza. Yeah, I think it's an Impreza anyway. So it's got a level body on it there. It's kind of a hatch. Yeah. What we got here? Some weird ass car. Another Subaru. This is Holden. So people are dumping their Holdens because Holden's gone out of business in Australia, and they're worried that they won't get parts and stuff. And I don't know, people are just trading off them, and they'll have to get something that's not a Holden. So this one's sold. Still got the thing on it. Interestingly, they normally take that off. 34 grand, 2016 Subaru Outback with 94,000 kilometers on it. Yeah, it's still expensive though. It's better, a little bit better than the other ones, but it's still a 5-year-old car. Hopefully they beat them down on the price a bit. Suzuki, who cares? Got another Subaru. I haven't seen too many of these, so let's have a bit of a look at it. Sorry if I'm zoomed in a bit too much. I don't want to make people seasick. This is an Outback. Okay. It's like an Outback station wagon thing. Never owned one, never driven one. Wouldn't be interested in something like that, I don't think. See them around quite a bit. It's a Toyota. No pricing information on it. So there's a real mixed bag out here, but this whole area is empty and it used to be full of cars. That's another silvery Subaru. These look quite nice. That one's actually got its window down, which is not too good. Liberties, okay. Just standard Liberties, not T-legs, not turbo Liberties. Got an Impreza over here. It's just arrived, brand new Fremantle, naturally aspirated. It's not a WRX, and an Impreza hatch, all-wheel drive. It's fine for people who don't want a performance vehicle. You know, they're just after something. It's dropped to $1,000. It's dropped $1,000. I must have realised they were asking too much psychologically in it for 30 grand for something like this. Yeah. So at least they're selling Subarus, because they used to sell a lot of cars on this lot as well. You saw there was a mixed bag. Some of them were trade-ins and stuff, but yeah, at least they got the Subaru brand out the front for a change, because you used to see all sorts of weird ass cars out the front here, and it wasn't a good look for a Subaru dealer, to be honest. So this is an XV. I know nothing about the XV. I'm going to assume it's naturally aspirated and kind of a family car crossover vehicle. BRZ again. Let's have a look at the XV. Let's see if there are any prices on them. Okay, they don't look like they have turbos. There's no bonnet scoops or anything, so yeah, don't know what sort of engines they have in them. They're a fairly big vehicle. BRZ now reduced to 40 grand. That's crazy prices for that. You know, it's a rear-wheel drive with the new new EG, whatever it's called, new engine in it. But yeah, it's not turbo. It's not all-wheel drive. So, what are you getting for your money with a BRZ? I wouldn't recommend a BRZ to anyone, because you'll buy it and you'll just regret it. You'll buy it and you'll go, oh, yeah, I'll turn it into a turbo one day, and I'll add all-wheel drive, and no one's ever going to do that. Very few people have the ability to. Maybe turboing, it's not that big of a deal, but it's still a lot of money to might as well go and buy a turbo car to start with and put a bigger turbo in it if you want power. So yeah, very much a hairdresser car in my opinion, the BRZ. It looks very nice. It's not fast. Yeah, so that's the state of play here at Perth Subaru dealer. Almost very few STIs on the lot. There are almost no new STIs out here that really stands out. There's a bit of mixed bag of cars over here. They're being hidden away a little bit. So what's this thing? It's a Ford XR6, a Jeep Wrangler of some sort, Honda, Holden, Toyota. So these would be trade-ins usually, or they picked them up cheaply on the second-hand market to flip them from the wholesaler. So what have we got? This is a Toyota something or other. Hilux. Okay, it's a Hilux, and it's quite nice in that it's got nice closed off back end on it, so it's not a tray. This one over here is a tray, which is fine for a tradie, but it's perfect for a tradie, but not for a person that just wants a nice family car or something that can still pick up loads. And this is a Hilux with a nice bed in it. What was the price on that? It was very high. $64,000. Okay, it's got very low Ks, but it's 2 years old with 11,000 on it and $64,000. It's not even a top end car, but so it's got leather seats. Wow, I'm shocked. So yeah, it's my little night out at the Subaru dealer. This is the sort of thing I like to do late at night. Look at Grand Vitara Suzuki's. Bert's taking a big dump on that car. Yeah, it's obvious that no one's actually there was another STI, was there? Yeah, with no price on it. So there are only a couple of STIs on the lot. In the past I've seen 4 to 6 in some cases, 4 or 5. They've got like 2, and they're both second hand because they're clearly not selling in this market at the moment. It's a tight market. People are generally not lashing out with big wads of cash. Yeah. And then we have inside we have new cars, the super new demos and things. 0 Ks on them pretty much, or close to it. Yeah, so that's the Subaru dealer this evening, and then over there we've got the VW dealer and the Subaru service department. But yeah, there's more stock out the back as well. Subaru, there's a Nissan there and a Mazda and some other stuff in the parking lot, but I don't know if it all belongs to them. Seems to. Yeah, so Subaru, repping the Subaru brand, but looks like the deal is really hurting, and I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be running out to buy a car, but I suppose when people's cars die, or they feel the need to upgrade, it's a costly exercise at the moment. You've got to offload your old car onto the second-hand market, and you're better off not doing that through a dealer via trade. You really should do a private sale, and then take your wad of cash, and then come in here and try and negotiate them down on the price, because it looks like prices of second-hand cars have gone up significantly. An eighth in some cases, maybe more, 6-7 grand. So yeah, you got to try and negotiate, and they probably won't be very keen to move the price because they'll know they can sell it to some other codger. Yeah, alright. Well, I hope you enjoy the tour of the local Subaru dealer in the evening. Good night.